Welcome back, YouTube. This is John's Tropical Paradise, and I'm just going to be finishing up some of the journey or tour that I'm taking to get my food forest back to, I guess, a thriving jungle. So what I'm going to be doing is just outlining some of the rest of the plants. I did a previous tour of part of my garden, so I'm going to be finishing up the rest of it. And here we go. Alright, so we went through this part last time, and I'm going to be covering some of this area. So what I've been doing is just planting a bunch of pollinator flowers and mixed with fruit trees, along with some marigolds and just beautiful flowers. So this is a dwarf powder puff. I love this tree. It has these nice little powder puffs on it, and when it is in full bloom, it looks really nice. I had a little bit of a bug infestation on it. They seem to have went away. They have these little thorn bugs on them, so I'm not seeing those anymore. And then right here I have a Thai giant jujube. It's just starting to come back. This one had some really bad root system on it, and I had to take care of it, but it's starting to be happy and grow back, so I'm really happy about that. And then I also have a bunch of native plants that are just scattered around. I have this mulberry, has these really nice flowers on them, these little white flowers on them, but I'm not seeing them at the moment. And then I also have some shampoo ginger. It is not popping up at the moment, but once it does, I will show how this shampoo ginger looks like. It smells really good, and it's also used in shampoo, so it's really nice on your hair and also your skin. It feels really nice. So then I'm also I guess this area got hit pretty bad. I just have some more powder puff. This is actually just a larger regular powder puff tree, not the dwarf one. And then I also have this is another Meyer lemon, and it seems to be coming back. I also have a lot of pigeon peas. You'll see a lot of pigeon peas scattered all over my yard. I use it as a nitrogen fixer, as well as a chop and drop. And then also the peas are edible. I like them when they're I guess soft, and you could eat it kind of like a pea, so it's pretty nice. Now this was my Alano Sapodilla. It actually does not look like it's gonna come back from the top, but I might have some new growth, but I think that might be from below the graft, so we'll see about that. And then I also have some nice pagoda flowers that just pop up. Those I'll show you those when they have this big red flower on them, so it looks really nice. Of course, more moringa scattered around. I like to put seeds all over, and they're a nice shade tree, and they're good for the leaves are very nutritious, especially when they're dried. And then I also had some jackfruit that did not make it through. I don't think a lot of my jackfruit was too happy about the freeze, so except for maybe one or two, a few little seedlings, but nothing too special. This was a banana crunch. And then I also have, this is called toilet paper plant. And if you rub the leaves, it's very soft, and it can kind of be used as a tissue, I guess. That's why they call it toilet paper plant. But also it has these really nice blue flowers when it blooms, so it's really nice. And then I also like to use it kind of to shade out. You'll see a little scattered over. It's not the best for a chop and drop because it does kind of tend to just take over when it spread out. So, or when you put it on the ground, it'll just root. So, but it's very easy to manage. You can just rip it out. And shouldn't be too bad. And then now I also have this was in a cha-cha. Again, this area got, there's not really too much cover, so the wind came through and this area really didn't like it. And then also, this is a fun one. This is I guess it's called tractor seat plant, and it has these really nice big leaves on it, and then it'll shoot up these nice yellow stalks. And I also put some bananas all over. So this is a ice cream banana. I haven't been able to get that to fruit yet. And then I also have this is a traveler's palm. It's not looking too happy, but it's starting to come back. But it used to be pretty large and have a nice little fan to it. And also have some more avocados. I believe this is Irani. And then here is a Cherilata, the John Painters Cherilata. It's not flowering just yet, but maybe soon. I'm going to try to hand pollinate it and to try to get some more fruits from it. I haven't been able to try it just yet from this tree, but I will be able to share the progress of that. And then I also have some Patangatuba. This guy is starting to come back, and it was putting out these flowers, but I've also heard you need a second one in order for it to fruit, but it's just coming back from the freeze. And I mean, it didn't do too bad, but it could use a little bit of help. And I also have all of these, I guess this is a cheap Kubo salad tree. It's also a hibiscus. It has these really nice yellow flowers on them when they get larger, but you can eat the leaves of it, and it's very nutritious, very, very good. I also have some more hibiscus. This is a Turk's cap hibiscus, and it has these nice red flowers that don't really open the full way, but you can also eat them. They're edible. And then also put some more Atemoyas. This is a Pink's Mammoth, very small at the moment. I don't know if it's going to be doing too well, but I like to try out different varieties. This I think is an Australian variety and not doing too well after being in the ground for quite some time. And then I also have another Sapodilla. This is a brown sugar. This one looks really nice. And haven't been able to try this variety yet, but it's tall enough to start producing some fruits, and if I do get some, then I'll definitely share some on there. And then I also have some more native plants. I believe that's a Bahama Senna. I have to look at it. It's one of the Sennas, but I'll have to take a look at that and get back to you on that. I also have just some random flowers around, like some copper leaf and stuff like that. And then more powder puff. I use these as more of a shade and chop and drop. It's coming back. And then here is a Savannah cherry. These ones, I'm not 100% sure if you need another one, but we'll kind of see how that does. It hasn't flowered yet, but it does look happy. More Mexican sunflower. This was a Key West, a Pantene, Pantene Mame Sapote, but it actually did not do too well through the freeze, so it might probably come back below the graft. We'll have to see that. And then some more sugar cane. This is the red variety. My friend Dan gave me a cutting, and it's been one of the most prolific ones in my yard so far. And here we have a praying hands banana. If you haven't seen one of these, the hands actually grow together, or I guess instead of the banana rack having them all in the same direction, they grow together, so it kind of looks like a praying hands. Looks pretty nice. Some pups over here, and then wanted to have some, I believe this is a blackberry or blueberry, some type of a berry. This was planted by some birds in my yard. I also have some tea plants. These look really beautiful. I like to stick these all over my yard. Some more blueberry right here. And I think if you could see some flowers. I don't know if you can see that. But anyways, so I also have some star fruit. All right. And then we'll get over to this side. All right. And then, so right now I have just a bunch of Mexican sunflower popping up, along with this is another mulberry cutting, starting to look really nice and establish itself. Another jackfruit. This did not make it through, so not too happy about that. And here's another jujube. Now this one I thought was actually gonna die back, and it didn't start popping up any flowers. It had a really bad root system on it, and yeah, it's just starting to come back. And I think what it is the fast growing plants in the containers, if you leave them in there for too long, then they'll start to wrap around their roots, and you want to kind of get those out of there pretty quickly. And then here is a yerba mate. It's pretty large. It was just flowering a couple weeks ago, but it had no problems through the freeze whatsoever. Looks pretty nice. Some more Mexican sunflower. This was a soursop, but it's been struggling to come back after the freeze, so I don't think this is going to be the best spot for it. Just kind of more in a wide open area, but I'll keep it there of a few seedlings all around, but I'm not going to move it at this point in time. And then I also have a allspice tree. The leaves of this smells so good, very spicy. You could use that in your cooking and whatnot. And then I also have some Fakahatchee grass. I use this as chop and drop. Alright, and then this is one of my favorite flowers. This is a Duranta, and the butterflies love it. All the pollinators, you can just every single day there's multiple butterflies, different types of butterflies all over it. It's one of my favorite flowers. Very nice for the pollinators. And then I also have some this is seaside goldenrod. It's actually going to get pretty tall and produce these really nice yellow flowers on it. It looks like it's about to flower, but it's coming back. It started off as one last year, and now it's keeps on dividing itself, and I let the seeds disperse, so wherever it pops up will be fine by me. And I also don't mind the native Biden's Alba. It's a nice ground cover. The needles, I guess the Spanish needle part of it is annoying, but the pollinators love it, and there's always bees on it, and it's a great ground cover to shade out the rest of your plants. It can see it's all over here, and if I didn't have it, I would have to water more. That's always the good part about having a ground cover and your no exposed soil, is that you'll have to water less. The whole goal here is for me not to have to have any input. No water by me, just taking care of itself. I put very minimal water to this, but if we're in a big drought, I'll throw on a sprinkler. I'm not that crazy, but this is a page Atemoya, looking pretty nice. And then I also have some Plumeria. This is a nice variety. It actually has these nice yellow flowers on it, and it smells like coconut. So it is a really nice one. And that's actually the only one that survived through the freeze. All the other ones kind of, I guess, died back. Some more copper leaf. I love putting these as a nice contrast, because you get all the green, and then you get a pop of red, a nice pop of color. Pollinators love it too. Now this one was sold to me as a mangosteen, purple mangosteen, but we'll figure out what that is, because I'm highly doubting it after having no problems through the freeze, and it's one of the Garcinias, but we'll figure out what it is. I also like to keep all of the native plants popping up. This is just an oak tree, and it helps shade out the rest of the plants. I don't mind them popping up. You'll see a bunch of them. In fact, there's another one right there. And what these tell me is that I could grow there. Like, if these seedlings weren't popping up here, then, I mean, it's not really happy. So it just tells me it is happy. Now this I'm very happy about too. This is a, I don't know if you could see it, but this is a imbe, Garcinia Livingstoneii. And the fruit of this is probably one of my top fruits. I've got to try this and picked up a couple seedlings of it, and we'll see how that does. I got another one over here, and it's starting to come back. I got to figure out if it's a male or a female or hermaphrodite. We'll figure that out, because that's hard to find. Got another one over here too. This one you can really see the leaves. I like to plant a bunch of them in different areas in my yard, see which area does best. Obviously, this one died back from the freeze a little bit, but it's starting to come back from the roots. But all three of them seem to do pretty well. And then this is a Oro Negro avocado. Seems like the Mexican varieties did pretty well throughout the freeze and didn't have any problems. I would assume that's because they get the colder nights there. And then here is a Simmons avocado. Now, the top of it didn't survive, but we can see down here, this is above the graft, so it's gonna be able to push out new growth. I'm not gonna be able to get any avocados this season because everything is growing back. That's another thing with this freeze, is you just gotta wait for stuff to grow again. If you notice, I have some these were all planted by squirrels. These are just some cabbage palms swaying around. I'll eventually remove those, but it looks nice in the yard. I don't mind when natives plant themselves. You can always remove stuff. So, and I also have more. These are oak trees. Again, these are going to shade out some of my seedlings that I may be planting in here, so they're not going to be long term. Some more oak trees. I like to see how they just pop up on their own. Another jackfruit that didn't make it, and then more Mexican sunflower. These are starting to pop back up, and I'm gonna have to do some chop and drop soon. Yep, more Mexican sunflower. Now here's a sugar apple. I don't believe that this one made it, but maybe we'll see some sprouts from the ground. And then this one I'm really sad about. This was a mango, orange sherbet mango. I actually put it in the ground a couple weeks before the freeze, and then I was just expecting it to work, but I'll have to get another one. Here is another Butterscotch Sapodilla. You can see there are some flowers popping up. Now I got this one, but it was struggling so much, and I originally planted it and had to take it back out because it just was not happy. And now I'm just ecstatic that it's actually surviving and thriving. I have some jacaranda. This is a nice shade tree. This is not a long-term one, but I love the tiny flowers. Any plants like this, I always love seeing it. And then I also have another one of those, this was actually a white mangosteen. But you can see it starting to come back, and I will figure out what that is. That was an online purchase, so not 100% sure about that. And then I also have this cinnamon tree. This is really nice smelling. If you grab some of the leaves, you can crush them up and it smells exactly like cinnamon. And then you can also use the bark. That's what they use in that's how you get your cinnamon, is from the bark. And they just use the inner bark of it. You could chop it and then keep on using it. It'll keep on sprouting back up, but you can also use the leaves, and that should give you a nice cinnamon flavor, and you don't have to chop it all up. So nice cinnamon smell right now. And then I also have some papaya. This is I believe it's a TR, or I believe TR Hovey. This is a nice dwarf self-pollinating one. Here I have this is a woolly abiu, and it started to die back, but I always love seeing the new shoots coming from the bottom. Here's a jackfruit seedling. And then I have my Atemoya. This is a red Geffner Annona, and it produces these nice red flowers. I did a video about me hand pollinating it, so you could check on the progress of that. And some more pigeon peas. And here is a sour sop. This is a seedling, and this is in a nice protected area. I mean, obviously the top, it wasn't too happy, but it's in a nice protected area, so it's starting to look really nice. But the problem with these is once it starts getting cold, all the leaves drop, and then it's got to come back, and I'm not 100% sure if we're going to ever be able to get any sour sop, but maybe one day. Maybe if there's no freeze or the temperature cooperates, we'll see. All right, so now I'm just gonna go over. You've seen a few of these around my yard. This is a Senna Alata or candlestick cassia. It's a host plant for the sulfur butterflies, so they're always all over this, and then the bees and the ants and then the birds eating all of that. So it's pretty nice to see how much wildlife just one plant can bring. And then here is a Sri Gading, I guess, Chempejack. It's a cross between a jackfruit and a Chempejack, but it might have more jackfruit qualities to it. And it's starting to sprout back. 2 of them. I'll have to pick out one to go forward. Maybe this one, but who knows? And then also another interesting thing is you could tell that it has more of a cross with a Chempejack when it has some I guess the seeds are really sticky, like kind of Velcro, so it could kind of stick to you. And it's pretty interesting that it still has some of those characteristics, but it's starts to look really beautiful when it's grown up. I'll have to try out one of those fruits. Very interested to try it. And then here's some more Moringa. This was my largest tree, and it was pretty tall at one point, but obviously I had to cut it back, and it's already went all the way down to there, so it was not happy. There's another ice cream bean, not ice cream bean, but ice cream banana. Now this was sold as a blue Java, but once it started to fruit, it turns out that it's just an ice cream bean or ice cream banana, and people often sell blue Java as a ice cream. So maybe one day I'll get a true blue Java, but heard they have some issues, so we'll figure that out. And here is my Katuk plant. This has some amazing edible leaves on it. I love to pick this off and eat the new shoots of it. You can also grab like the top stem and use it in dishes. Usually the younger flowers are more tasty, and then once it starts to get older and older, they start to, I don't know, I mean, they're still edible, but they're a little bit more like woody and probably not as good as these ones, but I like to take off the top shoots. Oh, I got another one right here. They kind of just pop up and self-seed on their own. I'll have to show you when they flower. It looks pretty nice. You can also eat the flowers. And then I also have some more cassava. This is a variegated cassava, and I love the look of the leaves. Some sunshine mimosa. I got that all scattered around. This is fun because you can touch the leaves, and then it starts to shrivel up. I guess also known as a sensitive plant. And then I also have some, this is a llama. I believe this is a guillermo with the red leaves on it. It's a pretty interesting way that it grows. It has these like little tiny leaves, and then a flower, or not flower, but another leaf like comes out of it. It's a really unique way of growing, but it also does look a little bit ugly at certain points of the year. And here's another one, another llama. This one was a seedling that I got online, and it's starting to grow. You can see that little leaf, that weird growth from the leaves. That's how I kind of know it's a llama. But yeah, just planted this seedling here, and hopefully that'll grow. Some more Senna candlestick cassia. Ants are all over it. Maybe I'll get to see some birds picking off those ants. And then here is a Bahama Senna. I got a bunch of seeds on here, seed pods on here. It's a nice little shrub. And then this used to be a miracle berry, but it didn't last. I have another one. I'm not gonna put that one in the ground. This was an experiment, I guess, to see how it does in the ground, but I'm gonna keep my other one in a plant or in a pot. So yeah, there's the other portion of my backyard. Oh yeah, here's a ice cream bean that is coming back. This one was the largest tree in my yard. It started to shade out everything, but I had to cut it back. I was not too happy about that, but at least it's coming back. It did flower and looked like it was gonna produce some seeds, but we'll have to see how that does. Yeah, so just wanted to share the rest of my backyard. I'm gonna be putting more and more seedlings in and replacing some of the dead ones and seeing how things go. And then of course I'll share some of the progress. So yeah, if you like this type of content and you want to see more of my food forest and what I'll be putting in and sharing, definitely hit the like and subscribe. Maybe I'll be able to do more of these videos as like a maybe a morning update, or we'll see how things go, because every single day has something new to look at. And then I also have more that I'll be sharing on the front and the sides of my house. Haven't covered any of that yet, so we'll see how all the rest of it's doing. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you all enjoy your day. Thank you. Bye-bye.